Good morning. Welcome back here on a Tuesday morning. And right about now, we're going to go and meet Miss Tracelyn Joseph. She's the Deputy Census Officer. And my sister, Let me go in here. Every time I talk about Tracelyn, I try for time your opinion now. But one, Mr. Green already, We done Jumbi around here. Every time I talk, my call Tracelyn name, don't want for time your opinion. And my sister, yes, Miss Deborah Bonds, Assistant Deputy Census Officer. And well, look, girls, I'm going to have me a little, I don't drink coffee. I'm going to get me some bush tea.
Where you go?
I'm just going to get me some bush tea.
Where you go?
Right here to get me some bush
So
tea.
you're trying to tell me that I have beautiful women here with me and you're going to leave me with women? That is not how it works. You leave me with
you
the
have to
men
understand,
and I leave
you
you with
have
the women. That's how this
never
works.
limit yourself, but you must know your
No, I'm
limitation.
limit myself. Tapping a woman by myself.
That's what I'm doing. I am making sure that I don't limit myself, but I know my limitations. So you think you can fight and battle with the empty hand?
Hello? Yes, I can hear. Sorry. Apologies. Yeah. Go ahead, SlyJ.
No,
Sorry,
you no fight battle with the empty. If you're fighting the battle, you must have weapons. I'm going to weaponize myself and come back. Good morning.
Right, no
Good
problem.
morning, ladies.
By the way, just before you leave, I just have to put this on the record.
Yes.
Right? I'm looking at the two ladies. By the way, I've worked with them in the past.
Yes.
One of them was my teacher in statistics.
Which one?
You guess.
Tracelyn?
Okay, let me help you. One of them is my birthday twin. We born the same day,
my
same
sister?
year, and one of them was my teacher in statistics. You see Tracelyn, you look. Man, no, Debbie look like she forever young, right?
Deborah is my sister.
So
That
Deborah
is
was my
sister.
one of my stats teachers.
Okay, well, she
Imagine that.
She never look away. She just out there in the book with our party.
She and me, she does look forever young. Me try to remember that when I went into stats, she was supposed to be older than me. Look,
that's a one
she
thing with
ageless.
the internet old businesses in this family. When he come, he come. You understand how we walk a call old tall. How we not call old in the family.
Anyways.
Yes.
So see you when you come back.
Morning, girls. Have a nice time. I'm gonna have me some tea. I'll be right back. I'm right here.
Morning.
I'm in the kitchen.
And about ready, right? You can just get a little tea party and you can be right back to join us. So ladies and gentlemen, listening, of course, as you just heard introduced by Sly, we have with us today the deputy. I'll make sure I have it right now to get myself in trouble. See, I'm just thinking of my girls. It's the deputy and the assistant deputy census officers from the statistics division.
The National Bureau of Statistics.
My purpose. Say it again.
National Bureau of Statistics.
Now that is important because, audience, in all my time working there, it was just a department within government. And now the National Bureau of Statistics is in fact a statutory body?
Yes.
What does that mean before we get into census? Just give us a very quick overview of this transition from being a department of government to a statutory body. Does it give the division more strength in terms of carrying out its operations?
Well, we hope so.
Have you seen or felt any difference in how you've been able to engage with our data providers and users?
We are still transitioning.
Okay.
And basically, for the last year or so, our main focus has been on the census.
All right. So this census, what is the census and why is it important to us in Antigua and Barbuda?
A census is a count of everyone in a country. Generally, in these parts of the world, it's supposed to be done every 10 years. But we would have drifted a little from that because, in 2021, we have the COVID. So instead, we went in September 2025, we started our field work with a phase approach because in Antigua and Barbuda, we have 400 enumeration districts.
What's an enumeration district?
That's the geographical location where you live, the parishes. So Antigua and Barbuda has 6 parishes. We know that. We learned that in school from primary school.
Hold on, I'm curious. So if we have 6 parishes, what is Barbuda? Which parish Barbuda falls in?
Hold on. So we have 6 parishes
okay.
in general, but for census and survey purposes, we have St. John City is divided, parish is divided into 2. You have St. John's, it becomes St. John's City and St. John's Rural, and Barbuda becomes a parish. So we have 8 parishes for census and survey purposes.
Okay, interesting.
So that now is broken down in enumeration. Every parish has a number of enumeration districts. That is where the ED, we call it the ED, where you go to interview people, and we have gone right down to the block level. So you might have 4 or 5 blocks in an ED. It differs. Some EDs may just have 3 blocks. Some may have 5. Some may have 6. Some may have 4. So we started a phased approach with 200 enumeration districts. But from the onset, we have had high attrition rate. People decide, okay, this is too much work, so they quit early. So we went out with approximately 160 enumerators. We started with that.
And enumerators are the persons who do the interviews?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
So after we would have done that now, it has been a slow process because of what? Challenges. Some of our residents, they participate, and we want to thank them for doing so. Others give us a hard time. The enumerators get around, come back, make appointments. They don't show. When they show, they don't answer. So it's a lot of challenges that we face out there. And of course, the climate before the last election that we had, they figured that we were part of politics, which we are not. We have been making the media rounds, encouraging the public to participate because we have nothing to do with neither the red side or the blue side.
And in addition to that, we also have nothing to do with immigration and inland revenue. All information that is collected from the census is held in strict confidence.
So I hear you ladies saying you have nothing to do with the red side and the blue side and immigration and customs and what the other one be? And inland revenue, the tax man, of course. How do I know this? I hear you. But how me, Petra Williams, who might not have my status regularized, might be operating my business under the cover, and me back UPP, me no be ALP TAL, how can I be comforted? And I put it that way because, of course, ALP is the government, that if I choose to talk to you, that them people, they all them, none of me business.
So for every field staff, they have to take an oath of secrecy. For every census staff, and by extension, the staff at the National Bureau of Statistics, as soon as we go through the door, before we can handle a document, we have to take that oath of secrecy for life. We cannot divulge anyone's information. Now, the data that we collect from censuses, it's used strictly for statistical purposes. And we will share the statistical data with anyone, whether it's you, your children, your family, the political directorate. That is what we share in, and the data is anonymized. So you don't have the names, you don't have where the person lives and all that. But we're not doing it for the government. We're not doing it for the opposition. We're doing it for the betterment of Antigua and Barbuda. Your data is protected because we have taken that oath. We can just give out people information and like that only for statistical purposes.
You speak of the oath that you've taken. By the way, for the record, I took that oath many years ago and I'm still bounded. Some
Exactly, for life.
What I wanted to ask, though, in relation to that oath, just before we move on, because I think it's important for persons to understand the sacredness of the oath and the experience. How many censuses we've had in Antigua? Can you recall?
I think we would have started since 1960, thereabouts.
Right. And have you ever heard of any news item, any legal case, any matter that has spoken to where anyone proved or even raised with evidence an issue that their data was leaked?
Not in my short life on earth.
And not in my lifetime at the National Bureau of Statistics.
Remember, she did before me, man, right? And I raise that because I want people to understand that you're not just speaking to the fact that there is an oath. This is an experiential thing where censuses have been held in Antigua. We've had at least 5 censuses. And to date, there has been, people chat. Everybody could chat and speculate and braggadose and get sensational. But there has not been a case Sparkle Williams. I see your no data in the world is protected. But there has not been a case brought in Antigua, a case or a story with documented evidence. Notice I said documented evidence, give me a chat. That has proven that census data for any individual person has ever been made public or has been used by Inland Revenue or the Immigration Department or any political party in support of any of their activities. And I just want to put that on the record. If anyone out there can challenge Ms. Joseph, Ms. Barnes, or myself to that effect, feel free, because that is part of ensuring the process of transparency and confidence in sharing and collected information.
Because under the National Bureau of Statistics Amendment Act of 2024, we have a penalty for any of our field workers who divulge information. They can be charged and either charged and be confined. So there is a penalty for our field workers who divulge any information that they would have collected.
All right. So we're going to pivot. So we began our census in Antigua and Barbuda in September last year. Mm-hmm. Where are we now?
We are at a very slow pace. Mm-hmm. As mentioned before, the challenges that we have had. And then after we would have had the snap election, so we had to pause for about a month and a half to give the electorate people time to campaign in the field.
Yeah, you didn't want to be in the field while the campaign was going on. That would have been further back of that.
Yes, because already, as mentioned before, persons already thought that we were part of the political arena, and we're not. So we stepped aside and allowed the UPP and the ALP people.
So what happened to what he named the SlyJ? What the name of our friend from Villa? What he party with me? The White Party.
Oh Jesus!
And what happened to our friend on English?
Well, let's say all the persons who were campaigning, we gave them their space.
And one of the things that we as a people should understand, that whether UPP is in power, there is going to be a census. Mm-hmm. If ALP is in power, there's going to be a census. If DNA is in power, if they're still alive and they were in power, there's a card name. If Go Green is in power, there's going to be a census.
In power, there will be no census.
But I didn't mean to the census. I'll just smoke weed. And anyways, you continue. But we just want the folks to know that, hey, no matter, it's not a political thing. You're not giving a political nothing now. No, often if you're UPP or ALP, that's for your business. But we must know what's happening in our country. Ahohi, minano. Ahoshi, minano. Who them, minano? How you mean you don't know? For your place, how you know what you mean you don't know what go on in your place? That is why we have census. Stop going with this stupidness about politics and all this nonsense. The census is independent of all politics.
So picking up on where SlyJ is, can you share, is it allowed for you to tell us like what percentage of the island, I don't know if that's the right question. What percentage of the island has already been covered successfully to date?
No, I can't share that right now.
Because
like I said, we went out in a phased approach. So you might find we probably have 2 enumeration districts in Liberta. We're in Liberta now.
Right.
Liberta has plenty EDs, but we're in 2.
She can't even tell how much EDs in Liberta murder. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
And the same for St. John's City. Overall, in St. John's Rural, we have 52 enumeration districts. We would have started, so like I said, 160 enumeration districts we started with, and we're all over the place. We're all over the country. We haven't started Barbuda yet, because Barbuda will finish before us, because they have 9 enumeration districts. So we're moving slowly. Now that we have had the break and we're now back in the field, mm-hmm. we're hoping to step up momentum, because that was cohort 1 in the field. Since during the break, just as we would have pulled ourselves from the field, we would have concluded training for cohort 2, because we had to train another cohort because we don't have enough people. So we are now looking to deploy cohort 2 into the field in the next 2 weeks, in the next week and a half, by the 15th of June. And then we're looking now.
So you haven't started yet?
Cohort.
You haven't. So you're not back in the field as yet.
We are back in the field with cohort 1 under.
Oh, you're closing up that.
Yes. So they need to finish up what they were doing out there. Cohort 1.
Okay.
That's the 160 that we were started with.
Right.
We started.
And you
with,
can't tell us how far you reach with that.
No. Now,
And
I
I'm
will
fair.
give you. I
You
will.
want people
I will
business.
come back and give you an update.
Oh, okay, thank
but
you,
I
thank you,
can't
thank
give you the update this morning.
Thank you.
Right.
And
then
currently-
hold on,
sorry.
Dave. And so we during the downtime we would have retooled. When I say the downtime, the month and a half we have been out.
Right.
So currently, as of yesterday, we are doing the refresher because we had them, we trained them, and for a month and a half they were not
Chilling.
doing anything. So we have a 2-day refresher training for them was yesterday and today. And tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, we will have a specialized training for the field supervisors, the quality assurance supervisors, and the headquarters officers. So next week, we will do our logistic and we will deploy them into the field by the 15th of June. So we will have 2 sets of cohort 1. We'll have cohort 1 and cohort 2 in the field. And then we'll be working on cohort 3 to train cohort 3, where for cohort 3, we are targeting school teachers since they'll be on break so they can be in the field July, August before they go back in school in September.
Wait,
And
hold
even-
on.
and
How long
even
I expect for in the
student-
field?
Until we get the task done.
Okay, so sorry. Traditionally, how long you stay in the field for a census? In past times, this feels very long.
It is long because it's going slowly, and it's not just us here, and we're the last of the crop that is going from the region. They have had some have been in the field for 3 years. We don't want that.
What?
Yes, because of the pushback.
Very-
It's like since COVID, persons' mindset have changed. Persons don't want to participate. But we would like the general public corporation so we can be out of the field before the end of 2026.
So here's a question for you, and I'm going to now introduce the very thing that we don't want to introduce into the conversation, but we should later on.
I wonder what that is.
So during the last election, a big part of the conversation was about the fact that we needed to update the constituency boundaries. And a large part of that conversation was that now census data D. So how can I update the boundaries? Yeah?
Yes, we heard that.
So then was that valid? Do we need, as far as you're aware, is the census data useful when we're going to be doing things like redrawing the boundaries of constituencies?
Yes.
Shed a light on that.
I am not the best person to speak on that part.
Oh, okay. But we do know that the part of that, the work of the Boundaries Commission is that they need the census data.
Yes, all of us need the census data.
You have to
for
know how much
many-
people live in that
for
constituency.
many different reasons.
So no, I sticking on that
Yes,
one for a reason.
yes,
Because
but-
if one side feel that a redrawn boundary will help their case, and the other side feel that we need the boundaries to make our case, how about we put the two of them together, not separate, and let them go out and convince the people, answer the third party question so that we can get the first party answer. It's not for you to comment on, I'm just putting that out there for a case. And we move on.
And I know, I am glad you touched that. We would like, the National Bureau of Statistics, the Census Office would like that persons partner with us. The politicians, both red and blue, the general public, all of us here, and persons who have their followers and they have moral suasion and persons listen to them, to encourage the general public to participate in this national exercise, since we're all data users, and help us to execute this national exercise so we can get the total count for Antigua and Barbuda, so we can use the data for proper planning, for moving the country forward, so we don't say, oh, somebody asks you, what's the population in Antigua? Oh, I think it's 90,000. No, we are having this census so we can have the right figure.
And this right figure, I know I got counted, and one of the questions I was asked was, where were you on census? They didn't ask, oh, my Bex, come on here. Why is that question important? Why is it important? And I'm asking that because Post my being counted, we were having a conversation with some other colleagues who I'm trying to encourage to participate in the process. And one of them said that they were asked that question, and from the time he was asked that question, he didn't participate any further.
Well, what's wrong with that question?
Which is why I'm asking the question. How does where you were on Census Day, because some people seem to be very uncomfortable with that question, impact on the overall count that we will have for census?
I was at the beach. I was at church. I was off
island.
island.
No. What I mean is whether you were in Antigua or not in Antigua.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
So that is our reference day, our reference night. That's when we take, you have the de facto population, you have the de jure population. One is you get the snapshot. We want to know if
So the de facto is the snapshot of where you were today.
Yes.
Right, go ahead.
So we will know on census day, our reference night, when we do our tabulation, this amount of persons were here. It doesn't mean that because you were not here, you will not be counted. Because as long as you're 6 months and a day, correct, Debbie?
Yes.
6 months and a day, you live here, you will be counted. But that is our reference night or reference period.
So for the record, where I was on Census Day, I was not here. But I will be part of the numbers.
Of course, you have to be
Yes.
part of
I
the
hear
number.
people, I love travel people.
It's
Listen.
like, for example, if a cruise ship is here that day, persons will be counted in that because they're in the picture. It's like you're taking a photograph. 25th of June. If you take a flyover of Antigua,
Right.
and I was there. You were not here, but that doesn't mean you will not be counted. You will be counted.
Officer, the man that take me something come back, more and change my answer to the question. But on a serious note, how do we identify census officers? How do we identify the people who are coming out?
Well, currently we have an ID. This is our ID for the census. Everybody is equipped with an ID, a census vest. It's marked on census on it. And
Give it to
it's the way persons can be identified if they do not have on a census vest when they come to you. If they do not have their ID, you are not obligated to answer the questions. Even when they come to you with these items, they even have a letter that identifies them that say they're working for the National Bureau of Statistics and the Census Office. And you're still skeptical, you can always call the office at 562-7495 and say, this person came to me, are they working on the census? And we can let them know that yes, they are a part of our field workers.
All right. And suppose, because remember...
And
sorry, go ahead.
To add to that, they must interview you with a tablet, no paper. They must have the tablet. If they don't have a tablet, they're not from the census office.
Technology. Now, suppose, because I saw the census officer walking into my yard, and I busted in one laughing. Why? Because I know he. And I'm like, really, why he finna for me information? You know, I really answer he. That kind of question I know he got asked.
No, it's nothing personal.
Well, there are some questions in there that people could take offense to in terms of sharing information. And then I remember that what he done for me, he could go to somebody else and somebody else. There's no way he's going to remember my information. How do you, is there, suppose someone comes to interview a person and you're not comfortable giving your information to that particular person, what can you do?
That's a very good question you ask. And for that, in the example that you would have stated, say you know me and you don't want to give Tracelyn your information. I don't want Tracelyn to know these things about me. You can simply ask Tracelyn to ask somebody else to come and do the interview with you, because we have supervisors. So the supervisor can come and interview you.
So the enumerator will have to be the one, apologies, who reports back to the office that...
No, we have a chain of command. You speak to your supervisor. If the supervisor...
That's the enumerator?
Yes.
Not me, the person to be interviewed?
No.
The field supervisor. We have a chain. It's the field supervisor. We have our quality assurance supervisor who looks at the data to see that it's making
code the
sense
data, who
and
Yes.
code it. And then we have
the
our headquarters who is responsible for everybody.
I understand that. So hear me out. Just to be clear. SlyJ is the enumerator. And SlyJ coming from my yard. Came to my yard, apologies. Coming from my yard. And you no come in my yard. No come in yet. Listen, I am not giving you any information. What
Yeah,
happens
girl,
at that point?
So you can say
The census me represent.
Man, okay,
radio. On the radio,
you're not
me
gonna like you, boy. Man, I like you.
for the interest of the
Now
nation.
come in, yeah.
So you say, okay, ma'am, you will try to, the enumerator will try to speak to you. If you insist that you're not giving them their information, they go back and they speak to the field supervisor, and the field supervisor will come back with them. And then if you say, well, ma'am, I will give you the information, or sir, I will give you the information, then they take the tablet from the enumerator and they enumerate you.
So the enumerator go get back the tablet with my information on
No,
it?
when they finish doing that, they sync it and it's gone.
Excellent. That is the point I want to bring out.
As long when they finish each interview, you have to sync it and it's uploaded to the quality assurance supervisor, and they check it. If everything is fine, they accept it and it goes up to headquarters. If everything is fine at headquarters, they sign off on it and it goes into the database.
What if that same person, like, me and the boss lady, how we had it a while ago, okay, but I'll give him information, but I want he in ya. Now, what is there to let that particular person know that, okay, I'm taking it, he has no part of it, he will not know your information. Even though he's one of the officers and he might be there, he won't know your information, just in case that is what is bothering you. Do we have that kind of a
They will not
safeguarding?
know. Like I just mentioned, if the supervisor does the interview or even the headquarters person come and do the interview, as soon as they finish, they're going to sync that questionnaire. When I say sync, that questionnaire is going to leave the tablet and they have no access to that questionnaire again. Only if they have to correct something, and since they did not do the interview, they won't have access to it.
Fair enough. Okay, last question. Ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, we at WTP Media on Mornings with Sly, we're just wrapping up an interview with the Census Office representatives from the National Bureau of Statistics. Y'all can't understand how excited I get saying that. You just can't understand. You can't understand. The National Bureau of Statistics of Antigua and Barbuda, Ms. Tracelyn Joseph and Ms. Deborah Barnes. Ladies, what is the one thing you'd like to leave with our listening audience in terms of the value of participating in the exercise and the usefulness of the data once we've completed?
Okay, so the census provides valuable data that helps to guide national development and planning. It also supports decisions in education, healthcare, housing, and even social services. Accurate data helps ensure communities receive the resources they need. As I always say, information from the census, our students, whether it be primary, secondary, tertiary, even persons who are doing their degree, census information is important because persons would send us an email or call and say, what is the population of Antigua? What is the population of certain villages in Antigua? And it is very important. As our motto say, mapping our present, shaping the future. This is something that we all need to learn to do and assist us in getting the information completed. As Tracy would have said earlier, she would thank persons who have participated. I also would like to thank those persons who would have participated and encourage for those who haven't done so yet or who would have refused to at least give the census your backing. And I would like to thank those persons who are still working on the census because I know it's not easy out there. So thank you, everybody, for assisting in some way, shape, or form. And
to add to that, our goal at this time is to execute this national exercise because we really need the census data for different things that the country would have signed on to. The Sustainable Development Goals, we have a lot of indicators that we need to calculate and we have to report at the international level by 2030. And if we do not get this census complete to get that data, we're going to be in a bind. We also would like to say thank you to the hardworking staff at the Census Office, National Bureau of Statistics, and our field staff that is working out there. And we want to partner, we want the general public to partner with us, the media houses like your radio station, Petra.
WTP. Yeah.
Participate with us, partner with us, so we can get this national exercise done. We cannot do it alone. All hands on deck. We have to work together as a team to execute, because at the end of the day, we need to know what is the population of Antigua and Barbuda. We need to know what social programs we need to put in place. We need to know what kind of investment opportunities we can get using our census data. Remember, we are all part of the National Statistical System of Antigua and Barbuda, and we are all data users. We can't forget that.
All right.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, please, thank you very much for joining us I said ladies and gentlemen because I was going to the audience, but I need to start with you. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. It was very useful information. I hope our listening and viewing audience enjoyed this. By the way, audience, we're now on YouTube. You can check us out on YouTube. Today's our first day there. So I just wanted to add that. Yes, Sly, you're on YouTube. But I would like to join our guests in reminding our audience that this census, the counting of our people, you heard it during the season that they can't talk about it, I can talk about the politics, how if they had the census, what could have happened and what couldn't have happened and so on. If we have the census, we can do better planning for the number of schools we have. If we have the census, we can looking at how we plan for future generations for employment and so on and so on. If we have the census data, we can look at people who are doing business plans, people who are going into new business. You can get an idea as to how to plan for your opportunities, your market size and so on. If we have the census, guess what? We don't have the census yet. In order to get the data, from the census, we need each and every one of us who have not yet been counted to participate in the process.
Are you hold back the process? Are you?
Right.
One last thing though, Petra. I would have mentioned that we started in a phased approach. So some persons would have been interviewed already, and some persons might be saying, nobody come to my house yet. We are coming. We have not come as yet, but we are coming. So
is there a hotline I can call if I need to tell you I ain't ready yet? Or rephrase, do we have a listing of the areas that you're coming to next? So let's say, for example, where I live, I was counted. My neighbors were counted, but perhaps there may be one or two persons in that area who you missed, who would have loved to participate. Will there be a list of the areas that have been completed so that persons who may want to participate but haven't been counted can call and say, come count me?
562-7495. That's our number. But we will be updating the general public as we go along, and we're hoping that you guys will invite us back to give updates and tell you where we're at, and continue to encourage the general public to participate in this national exercise and help us to execute this task.
We don't have any PSAs here at WTP regarding census. Are there PSAs that we can share continuously with the audience, or is it just when we get interviews?
I will ask our communication person to send what we have.
All right. So ladies and gentlemen, you have heard from the Census Office. We are back in the field with the census work. We're wrapping up cohort 1. We will launch cohort 2 on June the 15th. Let's all get counted so we can have that data, so we can be internationally comparable, because the rest of the world has census too.
Right on.
Thank you, ladies.
And you
Thank
can't
you
blame,
for having us.
And you can't blame nobody but yourself if it's not happening in your neck of the woods. That is what the census helps to do. Let us know how things are in your neighborhood so we can, make it better for you. Thank you, girls. Have a great day. Thank you for dropping by.
You too as well.
Thank you.
Beautiful. We'll take a little break now, my children. Stay with us. We should be having our traffic watch here on WTP-FM for this good-looking Tuesday morning.